What's up, everybody? It's Chad. I'm back again with another episode of Ask Chad Grassy Logic. Today, I have a really cool episode. I got a couple of gentlemen here with me on the show. Normally I usually only have one person. Sometimes I have two, so it's cool to have two people on. Two different personalities and, two different opinions and everything. So thank you, Jenna, for joining me. I have Xavier and Jonathan. So thank you both for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you, Chad. We appreciate you on your show, my man.
Heck yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
They both are from Opulence USA. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah. Yes. Solutions. That's just our Instagram handle. But
okay.
Shout that out too. Yeah, for sure.
So as I said, thank you both, gentlemen, for joining me today. It's great to have you guys on. And you guys are actually like the first company within what you guys do to be on my show. So it's it's kind of an interesting thing to bring up the topics of this. So we'll just get right into it. For my viewers and everyone else watching, tell us a little bit about both yourselves.
Yeah, I'll start off first. So my name is Jonathan Roberts. Obviously, I'm one of the owners with Opulence Solutions. Really, just coming from humble beginnings. We are military brats. That's how we started off. We're from Alaska. If no one really knows, Chad, I know you did.
My best friend's from Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm from Fairbanks, man. I'm from.
Yeah, he was military brat too. I'm from Alamogordo, so military base over there and everything.
Oh, okay.
So I get it totally. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, man. So, that's where we're from. And, we just, really migrated over here, just to get into the cannabis. Obviously, the cannabis is where, we love cannabis, but, we're more in tune, helping our community, helping, to get jobs and stuff like that. But, we are really just, some regular dudes. We love to practice martial arts. We be boxing a little bit. Cool. You know what I mean? On the daily. Shout out Grizzly Boxing. That's our gym that we go to.
Cool.
But yeah, man, just really, easygoing guys that just love cannabis, man.
Yeah. That's dope, man. Go ahead, Xavier.
So I was born in Alaska. We moved to the Seattle area when we were like 11. Mm-hmm. And that's when we got into the cannabis industry over there on the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, just what Jonathan said, we stay active, box, we love cannabis. And yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That's one thing that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to, being in this industry or just growing up in general. You have to stay active, find some kind of activity to do, even if you're just moving around for like an hour a day. So it's great to see that other people are on that journey too, and also use cannabis,
Right. What you like to do, Chad?
Oh man, all kinds of stuff. I love playing some disc golf. I played football, baseball, basketball, ran track growing up.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty athletic myself. Work out every other day. So all that good stuff. I love going outside fishing. I love fishing and hunting. You guys being from Alaska, I'm sure you too.
Yes, 100%.
100%, man. And the Pacific Northwest, some good fishing out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your company, Opulence, right? So what's the full name of the company, so I say it correctly?
Opulence Solutions.
Opulence Solutions. Okay, so where'd you guys get the name from?
So, I actually came up with the name, so, I was like, I was on the internet and, we're really into, building generational wealth for our family. And I was just looking up, synonyms for wealth, and I typed that in, and opulence was one of the names or the words that came up, and I was like, ooh, I like this. I was like, ooh, I like this name. Yeah. And we just ran with it from there, to be honest.
Yeah, it has
so that means generational wealth, basically.
Okay. That's pretty cool. It has a good ring to it, that when you say it and everything too, it kind of just rolls off. So knowing the meaning behind it too is actually a lot cooler. I didn't know it meant generational wealth. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It seems like what you guys are doing. So yeah, let's talk about it, for a little bit. Are you guys operating currently right now?
Yeah, we are. We're operating at a few farms right now. Fireflower, Iron Lung, and one of the big ones, Cookies, New Mexico.
Okay.
They basically, all of those farms basically use us for all of their post-production needs.
Nice. So just like trimming and stuff like that?
trimming, packaging,
Cultivation.
cultivation work like defoliation and stuff like that, garden maintenance.
Yeah. And those of you watching, if you don't know, cultivation maintenance is a pain in the ass. So, like you guys doing it, I'm glad they're probably glad you guys are doing it, because I hate doing plant maintenance, man.
It is a pain in the ass for sure.
Yeah, especially trimming. I've been growing for like 12, 13 years now, and I'm just like, I'm not looking forward to trimming.
Yeah,
trimming takes a real skill, and shout out all our trimmers. Like, man, we appreciate y'all. But a lot of them make good money, like they're making anywhere between 20 and 50 an hour.
Ooh, are they getting paid by the hour, or is it by the pound that they're
by the pound?
By the pound. So yeah, I've met a couple of dudes that trim a few pounds a day, and they can be making money, because back in the day, the California days, you'd make $200 a pound, $150 a pound, So I've heard the rare stories of $300 a pound. So that there's like that's a very rare one. I've heard that like once. So I don't know how true it was.
It's possible. No, for sure, it's possible.
Yeah, improbable, not impossible, for sure. So that's great. So you guys do staffing. Is it just for trimming that you guys do staffing for, or like you guys do other stuff as well, like the retail side too?
Oh yeah, we're trying to actually get into the we don't do retail as of now, but we do offer those services, whether that's bud tending, whether that's a compliance officer for the dispensary, just to make sure they're not getting in trouble or anything like that. We're also in construction. We're also in construction. We staff for construction. One of our biggest clients over there is Rich Contractors.
Okay.
So we staff for them as well. So we're in the cannabis. We're also in construction. We're trying to get into the healthcare, very, very soon. But those are the different sectors that we're in right now.
Nice. So you guys, aren't just in cannabis. You kind of are outside of it too. So that's pretty cool.
Right. We just got into it because
we specialize in
ourselves, So we're like, shoot, we need help, man. For real.
100%.
Because we originally moved down here from Washington for the cannabis industry, and then we realized nobody's doing trim teams or harvest teams. So we're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and start that up, because we know everybody needs help.
Yeah. And to be honest, once it comes like Croptober, is that like a busier time for you guys, I guess I would say?
Yes. Most definitely.
Sometimes
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sometimes clients will think they could do it themselves, and then they'll try to call us last minute, and then we'll be like, well, sorry, you're too late.
Yeah.
We're booked.
Yeah. And that's great that you guys do that. You're not like bending over backwards too much. If you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah, no, you can't do it. And honestly, like the services we provide are more in the back of these these companies' minds, because they're worried about honestly their important stuff, their building, the growing aspect of things, just different avenues. And then sometimes when they hit us up, like my brother said, it's almost too late. They're like, shoot, we need to get some people in here, like the harvest. Like, dang, we grew a lot of plants. Like, holy crap, like we need help.
Yeah.
And
a lot of the startups, they don't realize like the work starts when you cut them down. Like, it's I'm not gonna say it's easy to grow plants, but like I know like a few people could grow like 10,000 plants, but like when it comes time to cut them down, you're gonna need a lot of people, and a lot of good people as well, who are willing to put in those 10-hour, 12-hour days.
Yeah, definitely, because like the plant is always deteriorating, so you're always trying to slow that process down as much as possible. And so even when that, like you said, that plant gets cut down, that it's starting to deteriorate right then and there. So it's important. Time is of the essence. So having someone that knows what they're doing, can work fast, and like you said, can put in those 10 to 12 hours, because harvest days are very, very long days. They're not fun sometimes, but there's certain people out there it is fun for them. I'm just talking from my perspective in that one.
No, for sure. You say you were growing for like 10, 12 years, right?
Yeah. So I've been in the medical cannabis program since 2013 here in New Mexico. I was in the Army too. I was stationed out in Hawaii. Then when I moved back, I became a patient about the next year. And then I've been growing since then too, and then I got my what's called a PPL, a personal production license. So I've been growing under that for years. But last year I did grow with High Horse for a little bit and a stint with them. They had a production here in town somewhere that I was growing like thousands of plants for them to grow somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I know how it is.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah, and all that good stuff. So, and you guys do too, especially with what you do. Are you guys mostly in Albuquerque, or have you kind of been spreading out more throughout the state now?
Yeah, we're throughout the whole state, whether that's, Albuquerque, Las Cruces, Farmington, Santa Rosa. Those are just a few places where we're doing business, currently.
Yeah, because you mentioned iron lung, and I know that's top crop dark matter, so that's pretty cool. It's a good account to actually have. So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah.
And we're also we're expanding because it's going so well in New Mexico. We are expanding our services out to the East Coast area, like New York, Maryland, DC. I know that's legal. New Jersey, basically all the new markets, because there's really not that many companies like us doing what we're doing.
No, and to be honest, I was wondering who was going to do this. There was a couple that tried to come in and do it at the beginning, but you guys have, looks like you've been sticking it out and doing it yourselves too. So I'm glad that these companies, because we know that these exist in other places, but not very many. But it's great to have them in New Mexico. It's great that we're having all these grassroots companies starting here in New Mexico. There's even a lighting company that manufactures lights here in New Mexico for grow lights. So it's like, oh, okay, we got that, and we got you guys. So that just keeps turning.
Yeah, it keeps turning, man. And I would love the contact for those lights too. That would be perfect. Because one thing I like to do is just as a New Mexico company, help out other New Mexico companies. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. So, and that's what really our company is based upon. Like, we help a lot of companies. That's our job. So no wonder share the wealth with everybody. You know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah, man. Okay.
It's cool. But I'll get you that information after the show. I'll send it to you on Instagram. I'll send you their Instagram. That's where they respond usually.
Oh, okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I had them on the show a couple weeks ago. They actually gave me a light, so I'm gonna be using that here soon on this next grow. So to be So and I was gonna ask you guys too. So in your experience, and from what talking to you too, it seems like you have a lot of bigger accounts too. But who's more of your accounts? Is it the mom and pops, the people just getting started out, or the big corporations you still have the time?
I would say it's honestly everybody. We do not discriminate. Obviously the bigger accounts like Cookies and Iron Lung, they're giving us, the most business, the most consistent business. But we understand, the little guys got to get it done too. So we're helping everybody out the same. We're not, with the same effort as that. The same effort we give for Cookies is the same we'll give to the people who need only 10, 20 pounds trimmed or whatever needs to be done. You know what I mean? So honestly, everybody is our clients. If you need help, we got you.
That's dope.
So, that's how we're moving.
Nice. And I was thinking about this while writing up the guide and everything, and it's in here and all that, but you guys really take a lot of the worry and the stress away from the management and the ownership, and you allow them to run the business while you guys worry about the staffing. And, that's huge, for a lot of people, especially people getting started out who don't really know how to manage people. They could probably learn a little oh, okay, so that's what you do. And, maybe eventually they wouldn't need the services, but I'm sure your services are used all over the place. But, it's a great place. And, you guys are also teaching people too on top of it, which is great. We need more teachers in this world. There's too many people who refuse to teach or don't even want to try. So I'm glad that you guys are, out there. And to be honest, you're really good at knowing or reading people, because you guys obviously know where to put people, because, one thing of hiring someone, you have to know exactly where to put them. Because if you put someone like me who hates trimming with a passion, I'm not going to last very long.
For sure, man. And, it's just, like you said, reading people and, put them in the right place. You're probably more of a cultivation guy. You're probably going to, like more with the cultivation duties, you know what I mean? And plus you have that experience, man, that experience is the best teacher. So, especially if you have experience, we're going to put you where you have the experience, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good, man.
That's cool. And, you guys are obviously doing a good job. If you could have those people making the amount of money that you tell me per hour you know, with trimming. If they're making that much an hour, there are some trimming mofos.
Right, no, for real, man. Like, let's say, you know, for example, you know, a harvest, it'll last like 10 days for trimming. You know, some of them are trimming, you know, 30 pounds in that 10-day period. You know what I mean? 20 to 30 pounds in, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, yeah, it's some good money in it for sure.
Yeah, and you know, I for myself, you know, appreciate hand trimming too. You know, especially when it comes to the top quality cannabis. You know, there's the machine just rips so much from the plant.
Yeah, it doesn't do justice, man. You get less weight. You know, just hand trimming is the way to go until some crazy high technology machine comes out. I don't think hand trimming is going nowhere for a long time. So.
Yeah, in my head, I can just think of some Looney Tunes-esque kind of device that would come up with like the little gloves and hold it and trim it with some little like, mechanism.
Yeah, no, for real.
Like those Tesla bots.
Right. Yeah, something like that. Who knows? They might have like a little 3 claw just grabs the bud and
right. Yeah, no, that's how we have to do it for sure.
Who knows, man? That'd be cool to see. I'd trip out if I saw some Willy Wonka stuff.
It would.
But like speaking of machines, like you get to a certain like volume to where it's like you kind of need the machine, and we provide those as well because like.
Well, let's talk about it.
I have the machine. It'll like take like 6 months, but like you have that machine, you get it done quick, get it out to your customer quick, like especially like the outdoor, like you really like more particular the outdoor because like you really don't need like that boutique trim, handcrafted trim. You really just need to get it done and get it out. All right, so with the machines right now, we use the Green Bros machines, but we are looking into some other brands as well, just to test them out. But for right now, Green Bros is the best machine out there right now. Because what we do is we do a machine trim and then we do the hand trim finish to the eye. You really won't be able to tell that it's machine trim because we are putting that hand trim touch on it.
Yeah, and that doesn't take long, you know, especially after the machinist, you know, a couple here, there, you know, next, couple here, there, next. So that makes sense, you know. I've seen it happen and I've seen it done before too. So that's cool that you guys are doing that. And so do you guys just provide only trim machines right now currently?
No. So obviously, trim machines, like we cater to the manufacturers too. So you know, pre-rolls,
bucking machines.
Yeah. Like my brother said, we're looking into some new machines. We found this nice sorting one. You know, it sorts the big buds, the A buds from the B buds. You know what I mean? So that'll save a lot of time. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to innovate and make it easier for our customers. You know what I mean? So
100%. And I've seen those sorting machines. Are you talking about the one that's kind of like a V style and it has like the little poles that move and stuff?
Yeah, like the Green Bros ones.
Yeah. Those ones. Yeah, those are really cool. Yeah, and they will save you a lot of time. Because like, you know, when you're trimming, you know, cannabis, you have a lot of other different, you know, sizes and stuff. Some people think that you get those big buds throughout the whole grow. I'm like, no, you got all kinds of sizes in there. You know, it's just it's sorted out at the end. So that's saving a lot of time. So I was going to ask you guys though. I've actually been making hash rosin for the past about a year and a half or so. With you know, I was with Cruces Craft, and now the guys from there, you know, we separated and we're doing our own thing. Are you guys going to be providing any wash machines at any point or any time?
So yeah, we have been looking into that, but like that's been on the back of our minds like forever. But our thing is with the washing is like you got to grow the right strains. Like some strains don't wash good enough, you know, and you may end up losing a lot of money. So it's really a big gray area to where it's like if that grower is growing for hash, then yeah. But a lot of people are pretty brand new into the industry, so we're just gonna wait on that.
I get it because we've worked with certain farms too, and we have to actually go to their farm and look for certain ones that will wash because we want to tell them, you know, we want your money's worth. We don't want you to waste your time. We would rather find something that washes good, and we'll do a little test wash for them, you know, a little jar test or something, and go from there. Because yeah, you're 100%. You know, it is, you know, cultivar specific. You know, if you don't have something that washes, then you're just gonna be ended up wasting your time and money. So yeah, I get you on that. I just was kind of curious because hash rosin's kind of becoming more, I wouldn't say king, but it's coming more to the top on certain things.
Yes, trendy, man. Because it's it's organic. People don't like all BHO all the time. You know what I mean? So that rosin, I love rosin, and the terps. I personally believe the terps are better in the rosin than they are in the BHO. So,
I agree with you 100%. It's treated better throughout the whole process.
Right.
So it's just water, ice, heat, and pressure. That's
it, man.
Natural way.
Yes, exactly. The most natural way, the Avatar way or something.
Yeah.
The Airbender way.
For sure.
Nice. And I noticed that you guys on your, I was looking at your website. I was doing a little bit of, internet stalking before, the show and everything while I was writing the script. And I noticed you guys have 24-hour, 24/7 services. Do you care to elaborate a little on that?
Great question there. Yeah, it's like we're not working 24/7 around the clock. We're not coming in 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. trimming weed or nothing. But it's more of like you can contact us whenever, via email or call maybe, but not to call past 8 p.m. I'm not picking up no business calls. I'm trying to wind down. You know what I mean?
So if they call you business hours on a Sunday, you'll be there. Hey, what's going on?
We might need to change that a little bit. But we might need to change that. But
change the wording a little.
Yeah, change the word a little bit. But that's basically what that means.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys also offer the services. It said even if someone's calls in sick, you can bring someone in quickly.
Right.
And that's pretty cool. Elaborate on that, please.
Yeah. Go ahead, X.
Like let's say you're running a dispensary and somebody calls out, we could send somebody in to take their spot, or cultivation stuff. Somebody calls out, we'll send somebody in, packaging or trimming, whatever.
Yeah, because we have like an on-call roster, so just a group of individuals well versed in pretty much anything, that can come in and help out a company.
Nice. And that's cool to see. I saw that and I was like, I really like that because, I've managed before. Right. And when someone calls in, for whatever reason, it's a stress for everybody because, now we're down one person and who knows what their position is. They could be important, it could be mundane, but still they're a member of the team and they have a task that, you now have to do or find someone to do that task. And so instead of worrying about it, just call you guys, hey, this and this, I need someone for this. And you bring them right over. Who knows, maybe they have regular staffing, but this is just an off time where they need someone. Call you guys. You guys are able to hook them up, and life goes on. So that's
right. Literally, that's what I say. I'd be like, life's gonna happen. So people are gonna call in and out all the time. So
yeah, and things happen. I mean, even on the way to work, something could happen. An accident. Literally. A freaking pile up right in front of you happened, and now you're stuck in there for hours.
We know New Mexico.
Yeah. And a lot of the employees down here in Cruces, they come from El Paso. And El Paso lately has just been crazy with this. And then there's a bunch of construction going on the highway coming up. Yeah. So, you always run into that issue too. Maybe something toppled over. Actually, a few weeks ago, for Fort Bliss, one of the tanks literally flipped over on the road, on one of the back roads. And so that was like closed off for 6-7 hours while they're trying to figure that out. Whole tank. That's like something random. It's like my dog ate my homework kind of thing. It's like, sorry, I'm late, guys. The tank fell on the road on the side. And I was kind of stuck.
Like whatever. Man.
So that's pretty cool that you guys are doing this, and I'm really glad that you guys have come along with this idea, and it's actually working so well. And it looks like everybody from the biggest of the big companies down to the little mom and pops just starting out, are coming to you, and that's great to hear. It means you guys have a really good service, and obviously your employees like you, so that's great to hear as well, because happy employees is a happy company. So and a lot of people don't know how to run staffing in general. So you guys obviously found a niche that you're good at.
Right. And it's like like you said, even the mom and pops, fast tracking those companies that may not have all the knowledge, what I mean, or the processes, and we just give it to them, and we want to see the companies we work with successful. You know what I mean?
So good weed.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, that's funny. Xavier, you remind me of my best friend Xavier from Alaska. Like you're so much just like him. It's hilarious, dude. I'm like, this dude's just like my buddy Xavier. Well, it's what it is, Xavier, but yeah, we call him X. But yeah, that's great. Well, I'm great to have you guys on the show. Thank you so much for sharing everything with Opulence. But what do you guys have planned for the future? I know you shared a little bit, but is there anything else you guys want to share?
Man, just expansion, man. We're really focused on expansion right now. Like my brother said earlier, expanding to the East Coast. We just believe every cannabis industry in all these different states need a service like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something, to just be the backbone, And as building that bridge from the community to the cannabis industry, because cannabis companies don't, naturally like to hire like new or, it's hard to get into the cannabis industry as like just a regular person. But, if you have that bridge, us, even from the beginners to, the less experienced or the more experienced individuals, will help you get that foot in the door. Not only, do we, our goal really is to get our employees permanent placements, for these companies like Cookies just hired like 5 of our employees,
Wow.
and that's what we do it for,
Yeah.
they hired them on permanently as Cookies employees now, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much, the focus for, the now and the future is just really expansion for real.
Yeah.
Just expansion.
And that's great. You guys are pretty much just taking the free agents and, really allowing them the opportunity.
Literally, that's an opportunity, man. And they show up and show out.
That's dope. And that's great because you're only going to get the people that really, really want to do this, not the people just there for a paycheck.
So, exactly, man.
Well, thank you guys for joining me. And I look forward to continuing this conversation, with the rest of the podcast and everything and the rest of the topics. So I look forward to see what you guys have. And let's get on to the rest of the conversations, man. And
for sure.
Congratulations on your successes.
All right. Hey, thanks, man. We appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. Heck yeah. Let's continue this conversation then.
Yeah.
So when did you guys get into New Mexico?
Like 2021.
2021. Okay. Yeah. So you guys got here right when we went legal. So you weren't here for the medical days and stuff. So
no.
So the medical days were an interesting time. We had a lot of patients. We had over 135,000 patients at our peak. And it was I was like patient 8,000 something in 2013. So we started, from very humble beginnings and, kind of worked our way up to, some better numbers. But now it looks like our numbers are starting to dwindle. They're starting to go down. And a lot of people are concerned about that. But there's actually something else underlining with that too. Because when you begin a medical cannabis program, you don't get just the people that need it for, sickness, cancer, whatever. You also get the people that just want it to use cannabis. I mean, that's been the truth about every state that's gone legal. We've all seen that. And we're nothing different here. So, going from 135 to 80,000 patients, it seems scary. But at the same time, it's like, because before, 2021, before you gentlemen showed up, we had loosened up some of the rules for our medical cannabis program. We were like one of the most strict states in the union when it comes to medical cannabis. Yeah. You used to need 2 doctors' signatures to get a medical cannabis card in the first place.
2?
2 doctor signatures. Yeah. Don't know why.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And so this was like 2013, 12-ish, time. So, this is very early in the years.
Right.
We weren't even allowed to share like another joint with another patient. Like you weren't allowed to do that. You weren't allowed to share anything whatsoever. And it was just very strict.
Really strict.
You weren't allowed to give anybody any cannabis and none of that. So it had to be your cannabis and your cannabis only. So when we would do reviews back in the day, it was really hard. We'd have to buy our own cannabis and then we'd have to smoke our own cannabis. And if we wanted to show the other person the cannabis, we would hold it in our hand and put it to their face so they could smell it and look at it. That's how bad it was.
It's so robotic and unnatural, No,
yeah, it really was. But, around 2019, throughout the years past that, they started to kind of loosen things up a little. But 2019 is when they really loosened things up. They changed the medical cannabis laws. They allowed gifting. They allowed us to share, product with each other. And pretty much the medical program that we have today is the one that they changed it to. So things got a little bit more lax. And so that's another reason why our numbers boosted up, because doctors weren't as afraid to prescribe cannabis anymore or recommend cannabis anymore as they were previously. And so with that trend, you get more and more people. And to be honest, I was a part of, pushing people to get their medical cannabis card in the day, because people didn't know we even had a medical cannabis program to start out with. Yeah. So doing the footwork to get people to know in the first place is, one of the hardest parts to do it. And so at that time, we were, I think maybe 30,000 patients, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I remember when that number started going to 30, 40, and I was like, oh, wow, it's going up a lot. And so once we hit our peak actually came in 2022, I believe, at 135,000 after adult sales started. Because after legalization came, people kept getting in the program more and more, because that was the only way you can get legal cannabis, even if it was adult use. And I think towards the end, they're like, oh yeah, you guys can sell, to adult, whatever. It was a weird thing, what they did at the end. So anyway, now we are here today with our numbers, and I'm here to tell you guys that this may look alarming, and not you guys as the audience, not you two gentlemen, you're included, but everyone else, that the reason why this is looking the way it does is because there's just people who didn't need cannabis in the first place who allowed their cards to expire, and that's going to be a huge dip in the program. So it does make us look like we're losing a lot of people, but I really don't see it as a negative, because like I said, when I got into the program, I was patient 8,000 something.
Right.
We were nothing near that number of being that low. Is Washington still a medical state? Do they still have medical cannabis?
Yeah, they still have medical cannabis. Funny story about that. So how we really got into even the thought of cannabis, you could be 18 with a medical card in Washington.
Yeah, here too. Yeah.
So, here too?
Yeah.
Here too? Cool. So me and my brother used to ride dirt bikes. We used to race dirt bikes in Alaska. We used to race dirt bikes, and he broke his femur. And he was like 16 or 17 then. And then he came to me one day. He's like, "Hey man, I'm about to get my medical card." I was like, "What is a medical card? What are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm about to get my cannabis card." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I thought you had to be 21, to even indulge in anything like that." He's like, "Nah, man, I got this broken leg. I'm 18. I can go in the doctor's, get a cannabis card, and we can go in the medical stores." We're all like, "Oh shit!" I'm excited. Obviously not excited he broke his leg, but it just gave him a reason to get a cannabis card. And it's been, that was the seed planted of where we are today. So that's funny. So yeah, we're really pro medical for sure.
So if it wasn't for a sport accident, we wouldn't really be here today.
Yeah. And hey, to touch on those numbers that you were talking about, right? I just believe, obviously, and you probably do too, the dwindle down is because it's went rec. People probably don't want to renew their cannabis medical cards because they're like, I really only needed this to get my medicine, but now that I just walk in the store, that's, there's 5 every 100 yards anyway, you know what I mean? So I think that's a really big part of it too,
No, I agree with you 100%. And I'll give some proof to it, because a couple of years ago, I was on another podcast and I actually made a prediction. And my prediction was that we're going to be about in half, in a few years on the program. We're about 60, almost 70%, 40%, down in the numbers. We're probably more closer to 40% than we are 50%. So yeah, and the prediction was the fact that the people that just don't need it, don't want it, they're just not going to renew it. And, they're fine with paying the 20% tax, and obviously because they haven't renewed their medical cannabis card yet. So that is a huge reason why that number went down, because those people that just didn't need the medical cannabis, they don't really see a reason to, because they're going to get it either way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, and a couple other things too, our cards went digital here in New Mexico. And I think a lot of people aren't, a lot of people don't know that our cards went digital. Yeah. So now my card is actually on my phone. I don't carry a physical card. Yeah, it's so dope. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are, not wanting to carry a card. I'm like, You actually don't have to. You just have to have it on your phone. So if those of you out there kind of on the fence about getting your medical cannabis card, especially if you need it, a bunch of benefits. And I'll explain to you guys the other benefits you get. You don't just not pay taxes. So you don't pay taxes on any medical cannabis here in New Mexico with a medical cannabis card. The other benefits is you get more legal protections. You get more work protections when you have a medical cannabis card in New Mexico. You get more parenting protections, actually, when you have a medical cannabis card in New Mexico. They do have some parenting stuff in the CRA, but when you dig down into it, you have way more protections when you have a medical cannabis card, especially when it comes to like child protective services and stuff like that with them. I'm not a kid. I don't have any, so I have no clue about that area further than that.
Yeah, that's good information to know, though, because I didn't know any of that at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally. Not parent protections, none of that.
No, yeah, I mean, that's something that we added, I think, in 2018, 2019, is that we wanted the parents that have a medical cannabis card to ensure that they're not going to get their kids taken away just for being a medical cannabis patient. Like it's a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
I had a friend who personally went through a bunch of crap. She had her card and everything, luckily, but CPS still had to come and do interviews with the kids and all kinds of other, BS. So you still have to go through a little bit of a process if it comes down to it. But in the end, she got to keep her kids. They're all happy. They're all smart little kids, and they're doing great. So she's a great mom, by the way. And that's one thing that like irks me is the fact that canna moms get such a bad rap, and they really shouldn't. They're great moms. Like if I had kids, I would need to smoke weed too. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just an uncle, and I'm like, all right, after I drop you off with your mom, I need to smoke. Like, this is crazy.
No, for sure.
100%. And one thing I wanted to mention too that I didn't put in the guide, and this is because I only saw this as I was writing it. New Jersey, their numbers are actually the exact same as ours. So when they went rec, they had 129,000 patients, and now they're at 80,000 patients, which is exactly the same as us. One thing that's different with them is they have a significantly bigger population. I think they have like 9 or 10 million people. We have only 2 here in New Mexico. So that's kind of interesting to me, and I'm intrigued to see where that goes, because that will tell us a lot of cursors of, okay, is it the way that New Mexico ran it, or is it something else? Or is it because of the people that didn't need the card, or is it something else? Because their program runs different than ours. And if their numbers are similar to same, it could be just the people that didn't need it anymore just aren't getting their cards.
Right. Yeah, literally.
There's just information, like you can't even post about it on Instagram. You get your account taken down.
Yeah, shadow ban, all types of stuff.
Everybody's shadow banned.
You're probably shadow banned.
I'm shadow banned like a motherfucker.
I was like, for real, man.
You might as well just call me Ghost. I'm so shadow banned.
Ghost.
Yeah. I deal with it all the time, just having the handle of Invader Kush causes me issues sometimes. I'm like, dude, that's the name of my dog. Like, come on.
Oh, did you get that from the show, like Invader Zim? Like,
kind of, yeah. Actually, so when I got my dog, back in 2010, his name was Kush, and I was thinking of just a gamer tag, and I was like, I want something with his name. And I was watching Invader Zim, and I was like, Invader Zim's kind of a cool name. I was like, what about Invader Kush? I was like, he did invade my life. And I was like, sure. So it's been that ever since. All right. And one thing too, if those of you who are watching, if you need or if you're curious or want a medical cannabis card, hit me up on the socials. I'll try to send you the best information I have with the doctors. I can send you my doctor if you'd like to go to her. She's really great, really thorough. She actually takes care of all my boo-boos. She's actually my real PCP through the state and everything. So, I go to her through regular stuff, and she just so happens to do my medical cannabis card too. And she does medical cannabis cards. Up north, I'm not too sure what the landscape of that is these days, ever since we went rec. I haven't really reached out to many people up north with the cards. If you gents know anybody, go ahead and name drop them if you'd like. But if anybody else knows, let me know online. That way I can let people know too. Just let you guys know. Insurance does pay for your medical cannabis cards here in New Mexico. You're seeing the doctor. You're not doing anything with weed. So even TRICARE works. And I don't know how I know that, but I know.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just wanted to update everybody on the numbers and really give everybody a real reason why we're seeing such a big chunk of people leave the medical cannabis program. And who knows, with Schedule 3 coming up, we could see it tick up again. Because now with Schedule 3, you not only have the state protections that are in it, you now have the federal protections that are in it. So now you can go to like Texas with your prescription medical cannabis, and they can't do anything about it, even if they have the laws, whatever. It's just like any other prescription. So that'll be a big benefit, and I do see more people jumping in with that. What that number is, I'm not sure, because how long are we going to have Schedule 3, or how long is it going to be till we get Schedule 3? Because they're still working on decriminalization. Once decriminalization happens, then you have full-on national legalization, and then we run into the same thing of if you have Schedule 3, the numbers go up. Deschedule happens, numbers go back down. Right. So it's just like a little weird game that we all like to play. So depending on what happens in the future, those are the few things that I can see happen. You guys have anything anything on that?
Hopefully when it does go to Schedule 3, they free everybody.
Man, for real.
Not just the low level, because they always say low level, like free the high level nonviolent ones too.
Yeah, I agree. Like no one should be in jail for cannabis at all. Like I get the selling aspect, but like I used to sell illegal CDs. Like come on now. Like we all used to sell illegal CDs. Let's be honest. So yeah. But yeah, thank you, gentlemen, on that conversation. That's really all I had for the update. I just wanted to, like I said, let everybody know. If you guys have anything before we step on to the next topic, go ahead and say it now.
No, nothing on that.
Cool. Sure. All right, but before we move on, I have to pay the bills. I want to thank our sponsor for this month, Turquoise Bloom. They are at 162 Wyatt Drive here in Las Cruces. Turquoise Bloom, home of the $5 pre-roll. Take a walk through a field of flower at Turquoise Bloom. Thank you again, Turquoise Bloom, for your sponsorship of the show. Moving on, we're going to be talking about our last topic. It's going to be about two different things in one, but they kind of work together. And it's the border check and Schedule 3 at the same time, kind of like the updates of like where we're at. And I know you gents, you're dealing with the Border Patrol issue just like everyone else. And I see the head shake. Go ahead and tell me your stories, your horror stories that you're dealing with.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm just hearing about people getting like $100,000 in products seized. Like the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't need to curse, but it's like, dang, like we follow the rules. We like a lot of people like went from black market to legal, just to get it still taken. Like it's like, man, this is a slap in the face.
Yeah. No, it is 100%. And I'll do this backwards. This is supposed to be at the bottom, but we're already talking about it. So the governor, she's actually possibly going to be sending a letter to Department of Homeland Security to let them know, look, you're not working with me on Border Patrol, actual border issues that we're having. You're going after state legal cannabis instead of fentanyl. What is going on? You won't work with me at all. Pretty much just a complaint to them officially, so that way we can get it going. We're going through every step that we can. It's unfortunate that this is happening. Last week it happened again for about $90,000. It happened, I believe, I-25 North going towards Albuquerque outside of town, and then the other one on I forget the name of the highway. Is it 25 over there? Are we going that? No, I-25 is going up. 10? Yeah, the I-10. So it happened on the I-10 go towards Deming as well. And so that was where the other one happened. I don't know where it split up, but one of them lost a certain amount of money and the other, and it added up to 90. Same thing. They went after commercial vehicles. I think they knew exactly which one to go after, to be honest.
Of course.
Yeah. So, and the thing about the Border Patrol is they have a lot of technology. So the cameras that are coming back south or the opposite direction of the Border Patrol, those are actually DEA cameras. The cameras that are coming upwards, those are the Border Patrol cameras. So the Border Patrol is only allowed to do anything with everything going up. They're not instructed to do anything going back. So the DEA, they have full jurisdiction going that way. So they said, okay, we will share our information with you if you share our information with us, so long as you let us put these cameras on the highway. And of course, Border Patrol said, sure. So now we're not only just dealing with, Homeland Security, we're dealing with DOJ too, and the whole DEA thing. And so now they're in cahoots. All that information goes into a database. It's shared with all the intel agencies, et cetera, and the state shares information with the Border Patrol too. As soon as a vehicle goes through, that agent gets a notification. If it's flagged, they'll get a notification about being flagged, and they'll go and talk to them, harass them, whatever, ask particular questions. But they know ahead of time, if that vehicle has been popped or what. They have it flagged. They even have facial recognition, for stuff like that. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Illegal?
Yeah, it's crazy what they have at the borders.
No, man. And you know the feds, man, they're undefeated, man. They're like, it's really messed up. Especially because you have to register when you like the courier businesses, you have to register those vehicles because of course they know if that's a
Yeah.
cannabis vehicle or not, like you said. That's crazy. I didn't
Yeah, yeah. And you know, people are trying to do it right through the state, you know, they're trying to do the correct thing, but something like this makes people think otherwise and try to do other things. You know, there's people already trying to go back to old methods to get it across, but then we run into issues of, do we really want to be poking the lion like that? You know, now we get into this cat and mouse game where we really shouldn't be doing it. We should really be trying to work with each other. And I can't blame them. You know, this is a business. You're here to make money. It's legal here. We're literally not leaving the state. So I get all the arguments, but at the same time, if they're going to harass you and take your stuff, you're not going to make money. You know, so yeah. And you know, you're going to be left with nothing in the end, and it sucks.
Right.
So, you know, it's unfortunate that's happening. One thing that I have been doing to curb that is I have been doing updates of the roads conditions here in the area outside of Cruces. It's not just for the cannabis industry, it's for everybody. You know, just ensure the safety of the roads. You know, we have death storms here. We have a missile range nearby. That road got shut down the other day when they do a missile launch. You know, and that goes from here almost all the way to Socorro sometimes, those launches. So they'll shut down the whole highway. Huh?
So they're testing missiles out here?
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
Nukes out here, right? They test nukes out here, right?
So they tested one nuke out here, and that was the initial A bomb that we dropped on same kind of bomb that we dropped on Japan. Was the one that they tested here. Yeah. So that's actually around the area where I'm from in Alamogordo. So you know, I get radioactive jokes all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Oh, it's crazy. Even when I was in the military, it was even worse. One doctor told me he was going to turn the lights off and I'll glow, and I was like, "Hey, you're probably right."
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So yeah, there's a lot of military testing out here. The missile range goes from Fort Bliss down to El Paso all the way up almost to Socorro. So a big chunk of the state is federally owned, not just by Bureau of Land Management, but also by military. Because within that you have Holloman Air Force Base, you have Cannon Air Force Base, Kirtland Air Force Base, then you have White Sands Missile Range, and then you have Fort Bliss over in the area. And Fort Bliss is so close that it all kind of just meshes together, and you can't even tell the difference. Dealing with all that, we have the roads. They get shut down because of the missile launches sometimes. Just like I said the other day, it happened. That could stop someone from doing a delivery or being late to a delivery, headed towards Alamogordo. There's also times where there's a wreck on the road, and it'd be good for people to know when there's a wreck on the road. The border checks, the inland ones, they get backed up. And if that gets backed up, you're going to be stuck there for a while, and that creates traffic. There's also a really good time where you should secure your pets while on the road here in New Mexico. I know there's signs. We've all seen the signs, and you'll know in the particular areas where. So that's one thing that I'm putting in my updates too, is that if there's a time where you need to secure your pets, I'm going to put that on there, because no one's pets really need to get killed, shot, harassed, or whatever, because you go through somewhere and, there's another animal or whatever the case might be. So if there's a time where you guys need to secure your pets, I will ensure to put that, because that part is pretty important. Gotcha. So I wanted to update all that and everything. But if you gents happen to go through it one day, whatever you want to let me know, just shoot me a message. It's a self-reporting kind of thing. I don't tell who reported it, but whoever tells me, I just go and then I post the status of the roads and everything like that. Yeah. And I'm working on getting a website up, so that way people can just go and it's a live thing, and I don't have to post it.
That's fire, man. Please get that up and running. That'll help out a lot of people.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll get going on that a little bit quicker, because you're like the 10th person to tell me that.
For real, though.
But that's really what I had for the Border Patrol update. There's really nothing else changing other than the fact that they're still taking our shit. So, I mean, that's the one thing that hasn't changed. So that's unfortunate, but, we're still trying to figure things out. And hopefully the road statuses will help people out, a little bit, for now. We'll see. So, I look forward to more people helping me out with that. Please, if you are going through the checks regularly, send me a message on Instagram. I'll post about it. And it's not just for your safety, it's for everybody's safety on the road in the area. There's a lot of people that follow my page, and they're not just in cannabis, they're from all over the place. So, this is just for the safety of everybody on the roads here in New Mexico. That's all I really have about the border check update. Do you guys have anything? I know you had some really good conversations within that.
I would just say like I mean, taking it, especially like I know maybe a bigger company they can like take that to the chin, but like imagine like a mom and pop shop and they lose their stuff, like they could lose a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're banking on that money they get back to put back into their business. You know,
right. So it's like it's so sad. You know.
Yeah, $5,000-$10,000 loss that could be detrimental to a small mom and pop.
Right.
And don't forget about 280E. That's already we're getting hit all kinds of ways, man. Like
yeah. And the thing about it is, you know, the moment that you say cannabis to anybody, you're like 700% increase in price on everything. The moment you mention cannabis. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And you know who's taking the real advantage is the banks, man. Them banks is getting us.
Oh my God. I've been hearing the horror stories, how much they're charging people just for accounts.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like
it's ridiculous.
It's literally ridiculous. Like let's say every check that goes in there is getting taxed. And we're not talking about the IRS. We're talking about the bank.
Yeah. I know what tax you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's ridiculous, man.
It's like
it is.
And at that point, that's like it might as well be
extortion, man. That's what I see it. It's extortion to me.
Extortion.
Yeah. It's a legal form of extortion, I agree.
Really.
The banks are like, oh yeah, you can be a part of us. Yeah. We're gonna charge the living shit out of you.
Yeah, literally, man.
Oh I'd really like to have a bank on the show one day. Maybe I'm just talking shit and they can, correct me.
Yeah. Definitely.
We know about the good ones.
Right. Yeah. So maybe one day I will have a bank on one day, but that's really all I had for the Border Patrol thing. I really wanted to, touch more on the Schedule 3 thing. And really what I want to touch about on the Schedule 3 thing are the speculations that are going on. I'm hearing many different things what's going to happen. Big Pharma is going to take over. You're going to need a pharmacist on duty. Recreational's dead. It's only going to be medical, like these extreme things sometimes. And I'm like, guys, calm down. Like, federal government's still figuring it out.
For real.
I think
we're nowhere there. And even I have my own speculations and theories, which I kind of feel I've done enough analysis to kind of feel that this is where it is going, because I believe we're going to have a 280E industry, which is our recreational industry, and then a Schedule 3 industry, medical. There's really no other way to go about it by not doing it that way, because then we would be forcing every state to just go medical, change their rec program to medical. And we don't know for how long, because we know decriminalization is on the horizon somewhere, just not within the year or whatever we think. It's going to happen eventually. And if we do that, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot, because we already have these established industries that are for adult use, and then we're going to have to reset them up. And, that's going to cause hell. So the only real way that it's going to work is if we have two different industries, a industry that's still federally illegal, and then an industry that is federally illegal because of the way that it's set up. And most states that have an adult use program already have a medical program as well. Right. So it's almost like just taking the medical program, that's Schedule 3, do what you want with your rec side. Because there's certain people thinking like, well, when it goes Schedule 3, it becomes medical, and then pharma takes over, and then this. I'm like, whoa. Just because it comes Schedule 3 doesn't mean that the states are going to change or have to change. Right now, it's Schedule 1, and we're telling you, fuck your scheduling. We're going to do what we want. Right. Yeah. And so who's to say that that's going to change when scheduling comes? Because it doesn't make sense. You're going to have, right now, we have 81,000 medical cannabis patients in New Mexico. At our peak, 135,000, if that, right? So you're telling me that you think that we're going to go back to that, and even then on top of it, you can't even tax medical cannabis in New Mexico and some other states too. And when it goes Schedule 3, you really won't be able to tax it. So you're not getting any revenue. So these states that are getting millions to billions of dollars of revenue overnight, done. And so to me, it just doesn't make any sense why places would get rid of the rec program just because we went Schedule 3. Like I kind of feel it's more fear than it is, a fact. It's just people, didn't agree with the scheduling. I don't agree with it either. But it's what we got. And, I'm curious to hear what you gentlemen have to say, with the tidbits that I gave you about that.
I would think like the Schedule 3 could it should be a great benefit, like maybe I don't know much about the government side of it, but maybe like some federal funding could be allocated to like research and all these other things that the cannabis industry needs. Like it's not that much research on it. Like you know, like
official.
Yeah, official research, like more funds would be poured into it. Maybe more colleges will start accepting it, like I mean, the sky's the limit, like it's not always negative, like sometimes I feel like it's more positive than negative. Like, yeah.
I do too. And to be honest, the whole pharma thing, we really don't see pharma in cannabis right now.
At all. Yeah.
And so I really don't see that changing. We may see a couple get in it, maybe test the waters a little, but I really don't see them staying in, and not for the long run either. The money just isn't there for them, like the money's on the rec side,
Yeah, no, the money's on them pills, man. They're trying to keep people, distracted over there.
So, I know. I go to the VA and they still try.
Yeah,
and I'm like, no.
And you're like, yeah, when you get some cannabis, holler at me. We might could talk, but but, yeah, no. And speaking of that too, we're if you didn't know, we're veteran-owned business as well.
Oh,
so one of my mom actually is one of the owners, and she's a veteran. So,
awesome.
Definitely.
Tell your mom I said thank you for her service, buddy.
Yeah, thank you as well too. You know what I mean? So, most definitely.
What branch, if you don't mind me asking?
She was Army. She was a 92 Yankee logistics. Okay. Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, she did 32 years. She's crazy for that one. But yeah,
she's crazy for that.
She's like a major.
Yeah. She was a major. Yeah, 32.
So she went enlisted and went officer.
Yeah, she was. Yep, she was enlisted. Yep, and then she was a nurse, and then she crossed over to the officer side, and yep.
My cousin's doing the exact same thing right now. She started enlisted. She made it all the way to E7. Then she decided to go officer. Now she's a major. So
nice, fire.
She's not doing 30-something years. She's probably doing 20-something. Props to your mom for that, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, man.
I did 4, and I was like, I'm done. Thank you.
Done, yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool, man. And that's cool to hear that, it's veteran owned, your mom's part of the, the business and everything. And is she in New Mexico too, or where's she at?
She's in Texas.
Okay. Yeah. You guys are all over. Military families. That makes sense. Yeah. And all that. But yeah, the Schedule 3 thing, it just, to me, it seems more people are just fear mongering, over it than anything, because there's more positives to it than negatives, and I've looked at it, we get tax benefits, you get the bank benefits, you get all the stuff that a regular business gets. You can get the business loans, you can file for bankruptcy. You don't have to pay 280E, but the downside of it is you have to abide by all the federal regulations that come about, that come up. So if you're not compliant with any of those, you're not going to be Schedule 3. And I don't know how many people can afford to do that or will. And to be honest, I've had a couple of conversations with a couple other people that are in the medical industry, and they told me, the way that New Mexico runs its medical program, we could just see pretty much a flip of a switch for our medical program, because a lot of the stuff that the federal government is worried about with this other medications, we already do. We have an expiration for the prescription. You do see your doctor regularly, and every 90 days instead of 180 days, the prescription resets. And so, it's already there. And if the federal government wanted, they can say, how much is Chad Lozano using a month? And the state can go, this is how much Chad Lozano is using a month. And okay, how long has Chad Lozano been doing it? Chad Lozano's been a patient since 2013. And they can just give them all the information they want. And the federal government can go, thumbs up, thank you. And then leave us the fuck alone.
Leave us alone. Leave me alone.
Yeah. That's all we want. We want to be left alone. So hopefully that's what we do get, because to be honest, there's going to have to be some changes with the Schedule 3 thing. Like, there's no way that it's just going to go medical and that's it. And that's the only thing you can find. There's too many states that have a recreational program or adult use program for us to even think about going that route. We would lose billions of dollars as a nation by not, because the federal government still makes money off of us, regardless if it's legal or not. They're making a lot of money off of us with that 280E. So it's not like they're missing out on it. The federal government makes their billions a year from us, and they're going to continue to, and especially when it comes to legalization. The only problem I have with the current bill that's in legislature right now on the federal side is they're looking to tax businesses at 5% for the small ones. And I believe the bigger ones get 10 to 15, and then it increases. So the small businesses, I think, go all the way to 15 or 20%, and I think the bigger ones go to 20, 25%. And that's just taxing them. And that's on the federal side on top of the state tax that we already pay. So that's one thing that worries me. But, you know, the federal government was going to want to get their piece of the pie.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna be like,
but we will be saving money on the 280E. So hopefully we'll not have to pay as much, you know, versus what it is now. So
write some stuff off finally. Shoot.
Oh God, I know, dude. It's so ridiculous.
Man, it's ridiculous.
I can't write pens off. I can't write paper off, you know, like toilet paper. You know, like
nothing, man. Like, shoot.
Right. Yeah, but that was pretty much the conversation I wanted to have on that piece, you know, just to kind of ease everybody's, you know, anxieties on this, because, you know, there's so much that can and will happen between the time that we reschedule and now. You know, like there's just so much that has to happen. You know, it's not over and done yet. There's still a long process. I was seeing somewhere it could take up to 5 years for us to actually get Schedule 3, just because of the processes that are placed before us. And that's at the slowest level, of course. We probably won't see it for 2 years. So, you know, that's why we're still betting on a deschedule through legislature and the federal government versus this. So,
and that's just one step closer to federal legalization, man. That's what I get out of it. You know what I mean? So,
me too.
That'd be perfect.
It's a step. You know, it's a step in the right direction that we need to go. Is it a big step that we need? No, but it's a correct step. You know, them even acknowledging the fact that it's not a Schedule 1 drug is a big help. You know,
right? Exactly.
That's a huge win. You know, I didn't even go to Schedule 2, went straight to 3. So that's a huge win to me. But anyway, gents, you know, if you guys have anything else, we could talk about it. But if not, you know, that's all I have for this week.
Man, hey, no, just appreciate you, Chad, for the information. You know, we need more people like you in the cannabis industry. You know, not many people are providing, you know, high level information like yourself. So shout out to you.
I appreciate it. And, you know, thank you to you, gents. You know, you guys are doing something great for, you know, the businesses here. You know, you're taking over something that wasn't there, and now it's a service that people can really use and rely on. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And it's cool that it's veteran owned.
Man.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have this week. Thank you again to you gentlemen for joining me. And thank you again to our sponsor, Turquoise Bloom. Go check them out at 162 Wyatt Drive here in Las Cruces. And I will see you guys here next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, whatever you got to do to make sure you stay in the know. I'll see y'all next week. All right. Shoots.